Hi, guys. I kind of got a funny story for you, but there's a little bit of a moral to this story. And I hope I get it right. I'll probably mess some up. This story was told to me by somebody I know that's very, very close. I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not going to embarrass that person. She is just the perfect person in the whole world. I love her. And she's one of those people that wears her heart on her sleeve all the time. She is just the sweetest person in the world. So she tells me this story that she went to the bar. So she's in the bar and she's drinking. Maybe even did a couple shots. Now she's kind of like sitting on a corner of the bar. So there's, you kind of like got a corner. So you can sit here and somebody can sit on the other part of the corner and you can look at each other while talking. You know. So she's sitting at the bar and she's drinking. And I'm not sure if she went with friends or not. I'm sure she did. But they're all saying they're having a good time. And this guy comes in, a whole group of people with him. And they're all dressed up. So he kind of reminded of her being like dressed up like a shamrock. He had the big green hat and the green uh, tuxedo with the long tails. And, it was all fancy stuff. And they were dressed up really, really kind of fancy, but yet in a comical way. And he's singing around and dancing and clapping his hand. He pops over and he sits down beside her and he gets himself his beer and he's talking to her and he's telling her he's the pastor of a church. So now this person's looking like you're a pastor of the church and you're celebrating in church or in the bar with a beer. But you don't judge. But she's watching him, and he's like, gets back up and starts dancing again and having fun. And after a while, he's like, I'm gonna go smoke a joint. And out the door he went. Let me tell you, some people can make it very enticing. But the Lord always gives you a choice. So she's sitting there, and she's drinking her beer. And in comes two hunters. They just got their deer. They got the buck. First day of buck season, which is a big thing. So they come in, and the one sits down on that corner where the pastor had sat. And he orders himself a beer. And he's looking at her. And all of a sudden, he starts talking. And out spews the word of God. He is just talking and talking, and she's so enthralled that she cannot believe everything he's saying. Just, it was truly, truly amazing to her that for whatever reason, she felt that God sent this man to talk to her about the Word of God. Now, he only drank a few sips of his beer. He didn't like sit there and down beer after beer, and he didn't go smoke a joint. He didn't do any of that. But he sat there and he started talking and explaining things. And if she had a question, he answered them. And she said it was all from the Word of God. You could tell it was Jesus speaking out through this man. You can just tell. God always gives us a choice. There's the wrong path and there's the righteous path. Which one are you going to follow? Wow. We know which one she followed because she's the best person in the world. We just truly love her. I might even have that story somewhat mixed up as I'm saying it because it was told to me a long time ago. But that's what I remember. That's what I remember in my mind. Somebody came in, and like I said, he was a pastor of a church. We don't know where he gets his thoughts or what kind of church he was pastoring or, you know, talking about having tea parties and, getting dressed up for tea parties and going out and smoking joints. But somehow God knew that he needed to send somebody for her to follow, to to learn the word of God. You want to follow Jesus, is who you want to follow. But he sent the right person for her to listen to and then left her make her own choice. Wow, what a blessing. So there's the wrong path, and then there's the right path. It's sometimes the fun looks like where you want to be. It might not be where you want to be. Let me tell you, having fun, you still get to have fun as a Christian. I have joyous laughter. I am joyed all the time in my heart. I have really good things that happen to me, and I get to go have fun. Does not mean that I'm going out and partying and whatever else. Your life does change. And it's like peeling back an onion. One little piece at a time. And you change. Some people change instantly overnight. Like, boom, totally different person. Some people do, and some people it takes a little longer. We're not here to judge them how they found the Lord and how they love the Lord. But there is a path to choose. And you really have to think about that path. So the reason I wanted to tell you that story is because there's been times in my life that I almost chose the wrong path. Quite a few times. Quite a few times. But there's always these little side paths that go over towards the right path. There's lots of little ones that you can take at any time. You might want to take them early because the later you wait, the harder it is and the fewer the little side paths are to get you over to the right path. And sometimes, it's thick with a lot of branches and it's harder to get through all that. And I always did things the hard way. I was one of those people. Don't ask me why. Just always had to take the hard road. But I learned, and I learned the hard way, but I learned. And I have been challenging myself ever since to always remain on the right path, on the good path, the easy path, because Jesus makes your yoke easy. He makes things easy for you instead of taking the hard way and always breaking those things that, oh my, things come in the way and it feels like you're crawling. He changes that and he makes life so easy. And you still have hard times. Being a Christian, things happen. But you know what? I always think back to that story and I think, there was a visible path that Jesus was giving that person. Wow. And she took the right path. We love her dearly. I wanted to tell you that. But sometimes you gotta watch who you follow. If you notice that it's not exactly what it should be, then maybe you need to rethink. And when God keeps putting other people in your way to teach you the right thing, maybe you need to stop and really consider, okay, is this one of those little paths that take you over to the right path? Maybe I should be following this. Maybe I should really think about this. Because that path there, I don't know exactly where they're going. That path is definitely leading me down something that's not quite right. You give it a thought. Truly, truly give it a thought. See what happens. So I love you all. I just wanted to talk to you and tell you that. Tell you that funny story. And just see what path you're going down. Love you. Love you, YouTube.